Hey guys, it's Jackie here, aka UnbandedQT, or the artist formerly known as BandedQT. I made some meatballs a couple of days ago just so I can do meal prep Mondays, which is something that I'm doing with this journey. I'm going to prepare my meals for the week on Mondays if I have the time, usually Sunday or Saturday, and then eat it throughout the day. So I got some many requests on Facebook for my recipe for Puerto Rican meatballs. Now, when I was BandedQT back in the day when I had the lap band, I made a video, but my computer deleted the footage, and I have some of the footage but not all of the footage, so I decided to just make a new video. So things that you're going to need for Puerto Rican meatballs. You're going to need ground turkey, ground meat, ground beef, any kind of meat that you guys like to use. I like to use the ground turkey. I think it's like, 93% lean, 7% fat. And literally, the only thing that makes this Puerto Rican is the seasonings that we're using. You can definitely make these on your own by using the natural spices, which is usually just like salt, cumin, cilantro, and what's achiote, coriander, what else is in here? Garlic, oregano, turmeric. Those are literally Latin spices. Caribbean spices, whatever you want to call it. So for this recipe, I'm going to be using Goya Adobo. The red cap means that it has salt. They have a blue cap version, which is less salt, which is less sodium. This is the all-purpose seasoning. They have seasoning specific for fish, for meat, and anything else that you want to use it. We always get the all-purpose. Sazon Goya sin achiote means it doesn't have the color variable. So basically this just adds a little bit more seasoning to this, and then this one adds color, which is the one con culantro y achiote, which is just coriander and annatto. Annatto. I don't know what annatto is. I would say turmeric, but I don't know. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're also going to need eggs, and then you can add like anything you want to the meatballs. What I'm going to do is put my meat in this bowl, and then we'll be right back. So we're back. The reason I like using ground turkey is because it's 150 calories per 4 ounces, which is a half cup, with 22 grams of protein. Now what I do is make 3 little meatballs and put them in the half cup containers. I'm actually not going to be making meatballs today for my meal prep for the week. I'm just going to make the ground turkey because I'm kind of craving like a lasagna variation but without the noodles. So I'm going to do the ground turkey with a little bit of ricotta and some part skim mozzarella cheese, and it comes out to about 30 to 40 grams of protein per half cup, with only 200 calories, which is awesome. But that's a different recipe for a different day. The reason I love using this recipe is because you can literally use it to make anything. That includes lasagna, meatballs, the filling for empanadas, which I make all the time, stuffed shell recipes, anything you want, you can use this basic recipe. The only difference is you leave out the egg until the last minute. So I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we're back. I just had to get a big spoon or fork. Surf fork. Sorry, Beyonce stuck in my head. Get it? Surfboard, surf fork. No? Okay. So the ground turkey is in. You basically season this to your preference. I've been cooking since I was 9 years old, so I just kind of eyeball it. There are no specific measurements, and I do apologize for that. I would definitely recommend tasting as you go, but not on the meat because, like E. coli and salmonella and all this stuff. But just watch. Okay, so here's my bowl of meat. It's about a 6 pound. They said it was 6 pounds. I don't think it was 6 pounds. I think it was 6 pounds for the whole thing. So I want to say it's like 2 to 4 pounds per package. So I go 1, 2, 3 swirls. We're going to come back to this. You'll see. I use, because it is a smaller package of ground meat, I use just 1 packet of the unique seasoning, the Sazon Goya, without the culantro y achiote. So that's what it looks like. And then I do one more package of the Sazon Goya with the culantro y achiote. And you see, it'll go from this color to a nice like henna orangey color. Right, so you can see the difference in the coloring, the seasoning there. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is just mash everything together. Of course, my meat is still a little frozen in the middle. This happened to me last time too. This is where you go in and get messy because you get tired of using the fork because the meat is still kind of frozen. Okay, so I've incorporated everything into the meat. The meat, as you see, some of the color didn't transfer. That's where you always go back with the seasoning. I'm only going to go back with the Adobo Goya and not the other products because this gives a lot of flavor. These two packages give a lot of flavor, and putting too much makes it too salty. So we'll stick with the big Adobo Goya. All right. Since everything's incorporated now and soft and mushy, you can definitely go back and use your fork if you don't want to get messy. But you are going to get messy in a minute, so don't expect this to be the clean version of the food. Now I also like this recipe because it's so easy to make once you get used to making meatballs. We do things a lot differently from the Italians. I know some Italians fry their meatballs, some of them get breaded, some of them bake them in the oven. We actually boil our meatballs and it makes it super tender and it literally just falls. Okay, so I think this is good. Okay, so what you do, I'm gonna start, actually I'm gonna take about half the meat and put it aside for a different recipe. Give me a minute. Alright, so I am going to take about half this meat and push it aside. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit more than half. Like I said, you can use this recipe to literally make anything. I'm probably going to do the lasagna variation, my healthy lasagna without the noodles. And I'll probably just have some ground turkey left over for breakfast, so I can just add it with eggs and stuff. You can definitely make lovely frittatas. You can make little egg bakes. I have tons of recipes. I like making cooking videos, so maybe we'll make QT's Kitchen Corner on like Sundays or something. Alright, put that aside. So you have about this much left. So what we're going to do is add 1 egg. Maybe half an egg, but meh. And what we're gonna do is put that aside for right now. We're gonna take, it's kind of deep, but we're gonna fill it really smallly, maybe like a ½ inch to an inch of water in this pan, and we're gonna put that to boil. I have horrible water pressure. Okay, and the reason we only put that much water is because you don't want to fully submerge your meatballs or else they'll fall apart. Also go ahead and season the water, but since the meatballs have so much all-purpose seasoning already, I don't need to do that. Another thing that we are going to do is once they finish cooking, we're going to put dump some of the water out, keep about less than a 1/4 cup of the water that's already in there, and then we're gonna add salsa de tomate, which is either tomato sauce or you can add a ragu sauce. I personally like the ragu sauce a little bit better, but we don't have any ragu sauce here, so we're gonna add the salsa de tomate. So what we're gonna do is not get messy, because we're gonna get messy in a minute, and just incorporate the egg with the meat. And what the egg does is basically just binds it and keeps it all together when it cooks. A chunk of frozen meat in there. Actually, I'm going to steal some of the meat back from my other recipe because there's just too much egg. Oh, this recipe is, I also use it to make my ground turkey chili, which I survived on when I had the lap band. I just like ground turkey. I use it in everything. I actually found some jerky, and I saw Christopher's jerky review, and I was like, oh my god, I think we got the same turkey, but we did jerky, but we did it, but we have the same flavor, which I thought was funny. Yeah, but it's turkey jerky as well. I just felt like the beef jerky had too much fat. Okay, so now I am gonna wash my hands and then move the camera over to the water. As you can see, our water is steaming, getting into a boil. What you do is you can either make one really big meatball, or you can make the 3 little small ones that I did. I just felt like 3 was easier to eat. For this recipe though, I'm just gonna make the big one. So what you do is you grab your meat, right? Form a ball. I've been cooking a very long time. That's about a 1/2 cup portion. And just drop it in the water. Form your bowl. I like big bowls and I cannot lie. Meatballs, that is. You other weight loss surgery patients can't deny. Throw that in there. That's a smaller ball. I can probably add a little bit more. Okay, and we're just gonna let those cook and I'll go clean up. The bottom is starting to stick a little bit to the top. So that means they're about ready to be flipped. Oh my god, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. Alright, so we're just gonna let the other side cook and then we'll put them away. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna drain them and then add the salsa de tomate or the ragu or the pasta sauce or whatever it is that you wanna add. As you can see, I drained almost all the water. We're gonna add our pasta sauce. I was a total Puerto Rican on how I just opened this pasta sauce. Nope. Smells delicious. We're just gonna let that cook down and we're basically done. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoy.